Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it is time for Dynamic Effort Lower Day. That is something we have not heard in a very, very long time. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Of course, this is not the most flattering bar or angle. At least I'll look better on the sumo stuff. It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Again, just sometimes that belt, again, that particular bar. But what did we do today? I only did 5 sets of this and then 3 sets of the sumo. It really was only 8 dynamic sets. I'm going to need a little time to get used to this again. The first couple sets is really just learning to get back on the box correctly, right? Trying to stay tight on that box while still sitting all the way back and then driving up. So again, over a few weeks, I'll bring this back up. We'll get stronger at it. That's a lot of chains. I'm running 75 pounds of chains there on that. So we're going to have to talk about all the conjugate stuff. And I guess it's worth making, some videos on of really, I've been pushing more and more and more towards conjugate. And what is it I say every time over the years? No matter what I do, no matter how long I train, it seems like at some point I always go back to the conjugate method every single time. But what I don't want to do is lose some of the physique improvements. I want to continue to improve the physique. I want to continue to get leaner. I want to continue to bring my arms up. So I'm going to continue to have a curl day. We're going to continue to throw that back and bicep day with a bias towards biceps in the middle of the week. Okay, we're going to throw it in the middle of the week. I'm going to continue to do fasted cardio. I'm going to continue to do intermittent fasting. I'm going to continue to eat really, really clean so that over time, we'll continue to improve those things, right? But I can regain all the strength and thickness that I've had off of the conjugate stuff by doing it again. And we can still gain muscle doing it. We can recomposition doing it. So again, what is the whole point with the dynamic stuff with bands and chains? A lot of this, I'm going to have to make a lot of videos explaining. I have a lot of people who have joined in and they haven't followed the conjugate stuff. A lot of my people who are long time like, do your conjugate stuff was the best training times because it's like you just get so strong and then all your followers like we tried it and we get strong. And it's true because it manages fatigue really, really well. And that was one thing too. I wanted to start being able to hit stuff more than once a week, but I can't do it heavy. I can't even do it too light. Like coming in and trying to do real benching twice a week, it will eventually become a problem. So how do we get around all of that? How do we bypass these things? This is what the conjugate method was designed around. This is what Louis did. He had you come in and train dynamic work for your second days, okay? People get bigger from dynamic work. I've watched people grow off of dynamic work. I've seen Christian Thibodeau talk about people growing off dynamic work. We know it works. You can get bigger doing it. But the whole idea, we're rotating this stuff continually, so we can literally max out every week. And I'm going to start maxing out again, right? It's going to be conjugate lifts. I'm probably going to pick, a bench, a squat, and a deadlift variation, although that latter could be very, very subject to a lot of interpretations once good mornings come in. But when I was at my strongest, didn't we max on good mornings too? Like when you guys remember like Blaha's and got freakishly strong. Right, for a dude in his 40s, he's getting stupid. Yeah, because I was doing 500 plus pound good mornings. Now, this took a little, it's like after doing that, I was not used to all that band work and stuff again. Those short breaks on it. So I really came in and a lot of this, I just did what I could do. I'm going to have to get used to this style of training again. And I haven't done any good mornings in a couple of weeks. So I'm like, even the 315 felt pretty heavy. I did a couple of sets of 5. Let's start bringing the good mornings up. They need to be a staple because there need to be a max effort exercise again. So I didn't go crazy heavy. I went 315, focused on a couple sets of 5. It felt hard enough to get a good training response. Same thing with the other stuff. I only did a couple sets of the movements. So again, gonna need a moment to adapt to this. But the whole idea, we rotate maxes all the time. We avoid overuse. We avoid stagnation. By doing the speed work, we get all the speed strength, we get extra hypertrophy, we get first reps, we learn to stay tight, we learn to be aggressive in that lifting, right? We lift as explosively as possible. You have to hate the weight up. You have to hate the weight up. So, again, the bands and chains are a big part of that. And it has to do with the development of speed strength. It has to do with the velocity curves. It has to do with the deceleration curves. Okay, and then bands are, of course, there. That's just with chains. Bands become their own beast. I will eventually take those volumes up. And I think what I'm going to do this coming week, yeah, we're going to speed bench too. So I'm going to have a max effort bench day. We're going to have a speed day. I'm going to use a lot of the exercises I've started working back in. We're going to do plenty of dips, plenty of tricep work. So what's going to be our staples though? You're also going to see me do back work of some type most days. I always did that. When I was strongest at conjugate, I did back work all the time. Now pull-ups were a bad choice today. I thought they would work really well this deep into the workout. I was too fatigued. So if I'm going to do pull-ups, they probably need to be earlier in the workout because after doing all that other stuff, I just couldn't get much strength on them. Like a couple sets of 5. Just supersetted with my belt squats. It felt like a lot. It felt heavy. But I've been doing back work several days in a row. So I'm going to need a moment to acclimate. But you guys know how that goes. Once I start doing back work all the time again, that strength goes way up. I've gone really heavy the last couple of days, though, like those seal rows. I mean, doing work sets with 235 on the strict seal row, pretty fatiguing. So what I ended up doing just at the end of that, because I'm going to get a training response just from that speed work again. We did 2 sets of the good mornings, 2 sets of pull-ups, 2 sets of belt squats. Okay, that's plenty. Like for now, it felt fairly challenging. We will build it all back up. Fortunately, I'm in good shape from all the GPP and the weight vest walking. I'm in decent shape cardiovascularly. That's going to help with some of this, but I'm going to have to work these volumes up in these individual sessions. And then, of course, I finished up with 3 sets of reverse hypers, so 3 sets of 25 on this. So what are we going to look at as the staples then? It's going to be my old staples. Because look how strong I got before. What were they? Belt squats, good mornings, glute ham raises, reverse hypers, and back work. That's what builds my squat and deadlift. As long as I'm doing the max work, the dynamic work. All the speed boxes, all the speed pulls, rotating stances, rotating boxes, rotating bars, rotating bands, rotating chains. Same thing on the dynamic benching. Just that if I stick to only closed grip, I'm going to do a lot better. I can rotate bars, I can rotate bands, rotate chains. And then we come in and do the max work. And then I don't really need volume per se on the classic lifts. That's where the speed work comes in, so they can come in and hit whatever I want to hit. I can focus on floor pressing, incline work, dips, triceps for the benching. And then, of course, here's what I'm going to do a little different than before. As my arms have improved a little bit, since I actually am taking curls seriously, I'm going to work in the middle of the week as a bodybuilding day. So it's going to continue to be that back and bicep day. Continue that back and bicep day because I get a lot out of it. It's going to be biased towards biceps so that my arms get plenty of work, and then my biceps will continue to grow and they'll be nice and fresh. So we have a day to where I'm not benching before I do curls. I'm not doing all this tricep work before we do curls. Pretty much I'm doing bicep work all the way through because I'll be doing things like chin-ups and pull-ups, which work biceps. Then we go into curls. Then we work biceps from a couple different angles with nice challenging rep work with some basic progressive overload. And so then I'll continue to work on getting the biceps bigger, and then we'll continue to get, leaner and better body composition over time, right? Just continue to improve those things. That's going to be the name of the game. So I want to incorporate all this stuff. I want to take the things I've done to improve my physique, and let's go back and use the conjugate method again to get ridiculously strong. And people remember where I was at on this before. 635 deadlift. I pulled 625 on a deficit. I closed grips 365, all that stuff. I did a 350 pause floor press. Okay. I did 605 on a cambered bar squat, but it was too high. It wouldn't count. Hey, we need to get all this back. So we need to get it. I want a 375 bench. I want a 550 back squat, so on and so forth. So we're going to get there. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.